Hi there, welcome to United and Everything Football Podcast. My name is Kwame. Today I'm here with a super squad. Yes, we are joined today by Michael Akomia, the Messiah, as well as Nathan Obodai Kwao. Nathan is here with us today. And as usual, my partner in crime, Kwame Chukwuesiako, is also joining us here on the podcast. It's always great to come your way here on United and Everything Football. Today we sent a third bid to Brentford. Last week, Kwame and I were here saying that we shouldn't clock the 70 million mark. Well, we were waiting for who to blink. United finally blinked because it looks as if Brentford were holding out for 70 million. As it stands, they've not given any response. I'll get to the guys and we'll talk a lot more about that. We'll delve into more of the transfer issues as well and how things are shaping up for Man United. And also, we'll be playing against Leeds United in our first preseason game, at least to have a glimpse of what this team is going to serve as. Is it the same old same, or is just preseason as we normally say? We'll see here, or we'll talk a bit more about that here on United and Everything Football. Remember to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and also remember to like the videos. Yes, pause the videos, like it. It's very, very important that you like it for us. All right, let me get to the guys, and then I'll make a turnaround and we'll start the discussion. Nathan, great to have you back on the podcast with us once again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I hope everybody's fine. I haven't seen you guys in a bit.
Yes. It's been.
We are good. We are more than good.
You're good. Agobia.
The last time I saw Kwame Bafwe was at the Ghana Football Awards.
Yeah. That was the last time we met, actually. And you know the funny thing, when I parked, he was also parking, so we had to walk to the auditorium together. And Akomia was on Sporty Radio that same evening, if I remember.
Yes.
Akomia, great to have you on the podcast.
It's good to be here once again. Long time.
Yeah.
Kwame is on sabbatical leave. And my chairman is here. My chairman is Kwao.
But today, the city of Kumasi has two people because I am in Kumasi. So today.
Oh, fine. And why are you hiding? Tell us.
We'll talk about it backstage.
Coded location.
It's a coded location.
So from Kumasi to Hamburg to Accra, you are welcome to United and Everything Football. Let's make a quick turnaround. When we come back, we get straight into the issues. We'll delve into it here on United and Everything Football. We'll be right back after this. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football Podcast. So let me get to the guys. So every one of us have been waiting for two people, either an Ornstein bomber or a here we go. We've been waiting for it. Every day there is a here we go for our clubs, or there is an Ornstein bomber for clubs. But as for us, we don't get some. But this time around, an Ornstein bomber came that we've sent a third bid to Brentford, followed by other credible sources also backing it up. But as it stands, just before we are recording this podcast, there has been no response from Brentford. So we can't tell whether they have accepted it or not. But let me get to you, Nathan. The moment the news hits the internet, one of the first people that WhatsApped me was Nathan. He says, Kwame, I just want to share this with you. Nathan, tell me, why did you want to share this with me?
One, for a number of reasons. First of all, because of course, because of the pod and I've shared interest in Man United. So I just decided to share it first from a news perspective. And the second, just to let out the frustration that I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that Man United have gone round and round and round. And then they've circled back to the 70 million Brentford originally wanted to drag Man United to. I really could not believe it, but yeah, so those were the two reasons why I sent you the story. I was behind my desk taking care of some business when I saw the notification. So I decided to go through it on that.
You realize it took time because I was also in a meeting when it came. When the story came, before I responded, I saw it. I was like, "Hey, these people." But Nathan, generally, your thoughts on this particular issue?
I a mix of emotions because a part of me will say that okay, so it just shows that Man United do actually want the player. They are hell bent and they'll do everything possible to get the player into their fold. So that's one way of looking at it. On the other hand, I look at it and I'm disappointed in Manchester United because after all the talk that said United would change its ways of doing business, they would be more forthright, they would stand firm, they would not be bullied and all of that. It was quite surprising that United are at this point, how many days after the first bid went in, they are still trying to get this player. They've put in a third bid. And the fact that this, when you look at the larger financial picture, it could make bringing in more players a tad more difficult because we already knew that for United to bring in more players after Cunha and whoever the second signing was, or the third signing, if you want to add Leon, then it was going to be based on how many players United threw off the ship and how much money they would get, and then they would commit those funds to bring in players in. So I was just quite surprised that United had, giving so much of their arm to be biting off, knowing that there's not much left to do more business in the window. That's the surprising part. But I guess on the other hand, you can look at it and say that, okay, Ruben Amorim says he wants a player. What is the best way to show commitment to a manager than doing everything possible to get that player that he said he wanted? I don't know what arguments he as a manager or as a head coach has made to the Ineos people to say, if I get this gentleman, he pushes this club from 15th to 10th or 7th or 8th. I don't know. Maybe he's made the argument. Maybe they have bought the argument. Maybe they believe that in bringing Brian Mbeumo in, it can change Man United's fortunes by the end of next season. So that's how I look at it. One part of me looks at it very objectively in a clear-headed manner, but another part looks at it and I'm very frustrated simply because if this was the game, United should have met the valuation weeks ago, completed the deal, and then moved on to other things. But it's dragged all the way till now. We're halfway through July. First preseason game is over the weekend. I just think that it was a sequence that could have been avoided. Things would have been far more settled and far more straightforward than things are. So those are just my conflicting perspectives of this whole deal and the news and everything.
Mami, we are not beating the United tax, right? It's been something that we've been talking about for a very long time.
It's one of the few breaking news that actually beats me. Like I missed it, but when I did see it, I think about 15 minutes. I'm just talking about just missing it for 15 minutes, not like an hour or something, because I don't miss anything. I missed it for 15 minutes. And when I saw it, the first two words I typed was Manchester United. And then I followed it up with this line, we are never beating the United tax, like ever.
No way.
No way. You said something crucial on our last episode, and you were absolutely spot on. So far as we are shit, we are not beating the tax.
No, we are not.
The only way we can start to beat the tax is when we start to perform so that we have a bit of leverage. If we are poor, we are never, ever beating the tax. We were set up this way years ago by Ed Woodward. And until we become a football club that performs on the football pitch again, we are not beating this. Now we are even more desperate than before. We finished 15th. What's your leverage? You didn't qualify for Champions League football. What's your leverage? You have absolutely zero leverage. But now, what scares me, there are pros and cons to this, right? Some people want to make an argument that the pros outweigh the cons. I don't see it. All I sense is trouble.
And what are these pros?
The pros is, you want a player, you've got a player in early. In as much as people think that, we've haggled over this for about 6 weeks. He's still coming to Manchester United before we board the plane for our US tour. It's more than enough time to prepare for the start of the season. It also shows the commitment you're talking about to the manager and bringing in certain targets who fit how the team wants to play and whatnot. The negatives to this, you've already highlighted. You go for Watkins next, and they say 60 million. What are you doing?
You pay.
You go for Sesko, and they say 78 million. What can you do?
You pay. Because they know when they haggle you a lot, you pay.
So I'm like, this just sets us up for. I don't expect anything else for the rest of the window. Because whoever you go to next is going to cost a fortune. A fortune we know we can't beat and probably can't even afford because of what Nathan has said.
Yeah.
The next stage, we all know. Let's not come and sit down. See, that's the thing about football fans. We'll pretend as if we don't know. If you don't sell those lots, you're not buying anybody. It's a fact. You're not buying anyone. Keep it to your head. Be like, let it register in your head until you wake up one day and say, Only bomb. Sancho has left. Rashford has been sold. Garnacho has been sold. You have 2 forwards, and that's just about it. Our budget is done. We are done. Because of everything that's happened in the past, we are done. We are done. So until then, you can't even buy. And if you want to buy, you also face the challenges that we are talking about. How do you negotiate? What power do you have? So, like, you can be all excited about the Mbeumo. I think he's a wonderful player. Honestly, I think he's an excellent player. The one negative against by paying so much for a player like that is what we faced in the past, where players can't deal with the price tag of those big price tags when it comes to Manchester United. See, if Anthony was bought for 40 million pounds, whatever output is even given to Manchester United will go like it's okay. If Rasmus Højlund was bought for 40 million pounds after scoring 16 goals in his first season, we'll say it's fine. Nobody talks about Zexi, right? Nobody gives any stick to Zexi. Zexi scored 7 goals in all competitions also. But because he was bought for 2 cities, we are all going like, it doesn't really matter. If he was bought for 80 million pounds, we'll be on his case by now. I don't want Mbeumo to come in the weight of the Manchester United shirt to bring him down. And next thing you know, this huge price tag. Because see, you're telling me Elanga went for 55. This thing went for this. Nobody has gone for more than 60. It's only Manchester United who is paying for players for more than 60 million pounds. It's just us. This one is even going for 70 million pounds. So all I pray is he comes and then he lives up to, and even if he gives us half of what he gave Brentford last season, I'd say it's okay. Because I feel like he's a matured player, he's going into his prime, he can only get better. You get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Just don't come in and put in a stinker like the likes of Sancho's and the rest have done when they've come to Manchester United, haven't come to our club at a very, very hefty cost of 72, 73 million pounds. Just about the same amount. So let's just pray it works. But going forward for the rest of the window, I am not so optimistic that we are going to see much business.
Akomia, I've been looking at you how Kwame speaks. You look sad, you look broken, you look dejected. I'm looking for more to qualify the way you are looking. Like I say a bull.
My baba boo.
What is on your chest?
Kwame, you see, my first statement, is going to be in tree because it's the proverb. I say, "Wafase 19 krono Manchester United no. When me a kroni too. Umia krono so a na wafase ken. It is abede."
You are stuck between a hard place and a what? How did they say that? What's that? A rock and a hard place.
A rock and a hard place.
Where we are now, it's quite difficult to actually analyze situations around the club because whatever they are doing, you might support them. Whatever the opponent is also doing, you might also support them. For example, this deal with Brentford. I will agree with any chairman at Brentford who believes that Manchester United should pay in and around 70 million pounds for Mbeumo. On the other hand side, I will agree with any United top executive who believes that we shouldn't be paying a huge amount for Mbeumo. The reason being that when you look at Brentford and analyze the market, you would understand that if players like João Pedro, Anthony Elanga, most of these guys are going for 55, even Bruno Gittins. Then you look at a player like Noni Madueke, 52 million pounds. If you are looking at such amount, you definitely stand on your ground when it comes to Mbeumo, because he scored 20 goals last season in the Premier League. Definitely, you would demand such an amount. You look at Manchester United too, and you believe that this is a club that has actually paid over the odds for some couple of years. And they believe that we only need to pay the fair amount for a specific player. And this is why I cannot blame Manchester United so much, because in their heads, they know how much is a fair value for a player like Mbeumo. They actually believe that maybe Mbeumo is worth 65 plus 5. So definitely we are going to push in and pay for him for that said amount. I cannot begrudge them. Yeah. They know what they are doing. And we've seen over the years when
Akome, do you think they were pushed over the edge because of the Johan Wissa link to, was it? Which club?
Yes. Newcastle.
Probably.
I'll come over there. You see,
okay.
In the transfer market, it's always the seller's market. And I've seen Brentford try to manipulate Manchester United in several ways. The first attempt was trying to brief the media about Tottenham Hotspur bringing in a bid. The second one was Wissa to Nottingham Forest. After the Morgan Gibbs White and Tottenham story broke up. Then the last one now is Wissa to Newcastle United. But when you actually read...
Prior to that, they said they are not going to lose the two of them at the same time.
They are not going to lose the two of them at the same time. So understand where it is coming from. So the first gimmick was about the price value for other players like Anthony Elanga and Co. The second one was about the domino effects they were expecting to raise up the value, which is Wissa to any other club, and Manchester United will have to pay over the odds or in Mbeumo stays. And they've gotten what they wanted. I think in this particular market and how Manchester United is being manipulated is based on the fact that we can't sell players. Because I actually believe that if we have sold one or two players, gotten money here and there, we could have gone in for different targets. I'm not talking about different, the same position where Mbeumo is actually going to play for us, but I'm talking about different positions. Maybe you go to Edison, you go to a different player, you go here, then get other targets in, then relax about the Mbeumo deal. But here lies the case, we need to fund Mbeumo, go back to the market, sell players before we attend to different positions. This is where we find ourselves. I read what Jason Walker said today, and Ruben Amorim also said today. I've gone back to watch the video again, Ruben Amorim's last speech at the last game at Old Trafford. And you would understand that I don't know what these people have seen. I'm only hopeful that they have something up in their sleeves for the upcoming season. I only hope they know what they are doing, because there's a certain level of confidence that is coming out from them, that they believe that this season is going to be better than last season.
And I'll remind you why. When you are done, I'll remind you why. Since you're about to start preseason, because I'm about to switch focus. You know, Kwame, I'm about to switch now. From Indians to my man, I'll switch. And I'll tell you why they have confidence. I'll tell you.
Okay. And you see, while sitting here, I don't know how they are going to do it. Maybe Cunha and Mbeumo can give us something, but I still believe we have other positions that we need to actually fill if we want to do so much more. When you look at the right wing back, we need quality players over there. You look at the central midfield pair. I think we lack technical quality when it comes to our midfielders. We treat the ball like time bombs. Whenever Casemiro is on the ball, it's like a time bomb. Whenever Bruno is on the ball, it's like a time bomb. We don't have a specific midfielder that could give us that particular quality in the middle of the park to calm things when there's a lot of pressure on us. Dictate the tempo of the game. Control the game. Keep us relaxed in possession. We don't even have that. And we need to get a midfielder that can come into the game and help us with that particular level of technical quality. You look at the other teams in the Premier League and the technical qualities their midfield offers. Now you are going to compete in a league. We are not going to compete against Liverpool, City, and even Arsenal. Let's put that thing out. Now we are going to compete against the likes of Brighton and Hove Albion, Brentford, because we need to move up from the 15th position to like 10th or 8th. That is the reality. Let's not even be kidding ourselves and be deceiving ourselves that we just switch from 15th to 4th. No, it is not magic. Because you look at Brighton and Hove Albion, they have the likes of Carlos Baleba and Co. And you compare it to Manchester United midfield and you ask questions. You look at the likes of Brentford. Even though they've sold players like Noga, they have quality players in the middle of the park. You look at Damsgaard and Co. These people can keep the ball. They can keep possession. This is where we have huge issues that I expect us to deal with it as soon as possible. I don't know if Sekou Kone will be introduced to this team.
As soon as possible. After all you said, as soon as possible. do I need to remind you of what you just said?
You see, it's quite disheartening and frustrating when you look at the operations of the club and you have to go around circles saying the same thing over and over again and not seeing any change, Kwame. You have to say the same things over and over again and you're not seeing a change. I'm only going to be hopeful, I'm not going to raise my expectations. Let me put it in that way. I'm more calm now, relaxed about Manchester United. I think I've taken the advice of my senior man, Nathan Kwao, because he psyched himself about 2 seasons ago. And he was always telling me, Akomia, manage your expectations. So, Akomia, manage your expectations. So, I've taken his advice in good faith. Now, I am relaxed about everything when it comes to Manchester United. If they like, they should sign. If they like, they shouldn't sign. At the end of the day, somebody will get sacked. And at the end of the day, I know it will take, even if it takes 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, one day, Manchester United will be back.
Oh, this will be reduced to one day. One day.
But I'm just managing my expectations as a fan. I'm just managing my expectations. I'm just managing but it's a good sign, and I think Mbeumo offers us a different thing, apart from what we already have. He will give you goals, he will give you experience. And I've always said that one thing that kept Ferguson going was signing Premier League proven players. Look at Robin van Persie, look at the likes of Rio Ferdinand, you look at Andy Cole.
I mean,
look at most of these guys.
They hardly flop when they come. They hardly flop.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward that if you should go to, I'm using the word if because it can be anything within the next 24 hours. Brentford can literally tell us that no, they are not accepting that.
They will go after that one. They will
for Manchester United. And who are you going to buy? It looks like Manchester United doesn't have an option B.
Let me tell you who the option B is. I know who the option B is. I've been saying it for like 3 months. It's Tyler Devlin. It's Tyler Devlin. You know this. And that is the problem. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to imagine it. So we pretend we don't have an alternative. He's the
Tyler Devlin at this time. At this time.
That's the problem. I think that is why they are doing everything possible to get their first choice in. Because if you leave Wilcox to go for his choice, he's going back to Southampton for the English boy. Easy, simple. Simple.
And the issue is that it looks like we've sacked a lot of our scouts. We are now setting up our scouting department. So the transfers is all being done in a way that's sort of, makes sense. Get those proven players and all of that. So we have no other option than to splash the money and all of that. I don't know if you are done with the analysis before I come in.
Yes. I think we had a very big issue with goal scoring. I can't still trust the likes of Zexi and Hoyland. But if Mbeumo can get to the level that we saw him get to Brentford last season, I think you are going to be okay with Cunha too. Well, if Mbeumo is giving you like 10 to 15 goals, Cunha is also giving you, let me use the word crucial 10 to 15 goals, not just adding up to the numbers. Then you have like Cunha also give you 10 to 15 crucial goals. I think Bruno can also add something like 10 to 15 crucial goals from there. And let's just be hopeful that Zexi will give us like 5. Zexi will add 6. Ahmad will add something like 8.
Can I ask you guys a question? If we could make just one more signing before the window ends, just one.
Yeah.
Who would you add? Which position actually would you strengthen?
Let's start with Nathan.
Striker, sign only Watkins.
I'll go with a defensive midfield.
I would say sign only Watkins.
Akomia says yes. For a defensive midfielder.
Give me Carlos Baleba.
He's more of a box to box.
Would any of you want to take? Nathan, would you want to take it back and go with what he's saying, or you still stick to Oli?
No, I say Oli Watkins.
I'll go with Carlos Baleba.
Oli Watkins.
I'm going for Oli Watkins as well. Me, I've said it to Kwame. That attack problem, solve it completely. Like we solved the defense problem and we solved it completely with the kind of defenders we have now. If for nothing at all, Euro can play. What's his name?
Heaven.
Kevin can play. What's it?
Dogu, Mazraoui, Delete.
Like
We signed, as for defenders, we signed a lot.
we signed a brand new defense.
And there's still Lisandro Martinez to come back.
If you are signing an attack completely, it's because, see, if you analyze our team very well, we lack goals. We lack goals.
Yeah,
I mean, and we
United
are
didn't
so
score
easy to
50
play through.
goals last season, did they?
Actually, Akomia, I've made an analysis here with Kwame. Looking at the way Ineos is moving, they won't solve all our problems or majority of the problems you want in one window. They are solving it stepwise. So
Compartmentalization.
they solve a whole back line. Now they are trying to solve a whole attack. The other parts, they patch it. So they sign a midfielder. Now they are telling us, all things being equal, they want an athletic 8, of which we doubt whether that would happen or not. We doubt it, right? So if there's an opportunity to sign again, please get me a striker.
The reason I'm asking this is,
Yeah, Kwame, go ahead.
I feel inevitably there will be sales at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be soon, but there would be sales at some point based on how aggressive we've been in dealing with these boys. I'm not aggressive, stern. Stern is the word. How stern we have been in dealing. Definitely, they'll go out at some point. What that means is there may be room for at least one big money signing along the way.
Yeah.
And if you are going to spend money, big money again, because now we would overpay for whoever we would go to. It's a fact.
Yeah.
Are you going to spend 80 million pounds on a Baleba? Or you're going to spend, let's say, a 60 million pounds on Oli Watkins?
Please bring me Oli Watkins. I just need that striker. I need that. I want the attack. I want the attack to look terrifying. Because if you have Mbeumo, you have Cunha, and you have Watkins, 3 Premier League proven players, Charlie, it should be terrifying. Like, they should terrify opponents. Let them know that all the people in attack can score. There is Bruno also in the middle, who can also push forward a bit as a box-to-box, whatever, to also score. Create that. Put Ahmad at right wing back. Know that he can also score. Like, create every opportunity for the team to be able to score goals.
I would have supported Akomia 100% if our manager was flexible.
Yeah.
In how he alternates systems. For instance, Mbeumo and Cunha are literally like 9s. They can play as 2 9s. If he was flexible in his system and decided to go do what a Thomas Frank did last season, where he plays Wissa and Mbeumo as if he plays Cunha and as 2 strikers with Bruno in behind them, you go for a Carlos Baleba, and that's strong. But today they are going to start switching onto the Amorim thing. But he's not flexible. It could be, there are 2 reasons why he's not flexible. It could be that we don't have a base set formation system that this team is like naturally accustomed to, like our go-to base formation. You have to know something basic.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's second nature to you. Everybody knows where everybody is. Everybody knows whatever everybody is doing. And then you start manipulating that system as you go along. Yeah. It could be that. I don't believe that is the issue. I believe he lacks the knowledge to actually change systems. This is what he knows. This is what he has perfected. And this is what he wants to implement. And that's just it. Which I find to be a weakness. If he was flexible, a Carlos Baleba makes sense. But because he's not flexible, and we know he's just going to play a front 3 and a midfield 2, make sure that attack is as good as any attack in the Premier League, because you don't want a Højlund or a Zexi at the tip of that attack. It could even make the effort of Mbeumo and Cunha useless. It could make the effort of Bruno useless because your strikers are simply not good enough. So, because of this manager, I'd also go Oli Watkins.
Anyway, okay. So I have to make another quick turnaround, but let me make this point before I go. I have about 2 minutes before I go for my next break, and then we'll come back again. But those of you who have been talking about United tax, I have a message for you. I said it the other time on the podcast, and I'll say it again. Until we are good enough on a consistent basis. No team. I mean, that aura, that respect we have is gone. And teams
Even sales, people don't respect us.
exactly.
They want to take our players on loans
They want to
because
take our
we are
players on
poor.
loan.
Exactly.
There's a reason why Manchester City sell far better than we do, and it's simply because they are winners.
Exactly.
Now, if
They're performing so well. They're
sell,
performing so
yes,
so
Man
well.
City can afford to sell Cole Palmer to Chelsea for that much
And
because
still
they'll tell
win.
you that he's a treble winner. He's a treble winner.
Yeah.
He has this on his
They will
CV, that on
package
his
it well
CV.
for you.
Exactly.
Yes, and they have the things to back up that kind of packaging. United don't have it, so you can't even
You
sell
see
a player
how much Liverpool is selling Kwanzaa for. Liverpool can get 50 million for what's that small boy's name? Harvey Elliott.
Elliott.
And we can't even sell Garnacho for 30 million pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Garnacho has not even achieved what Rashford has actually achieved.
But look at that.
But we can't even sell Rashford for 35 or 40 million pounds.
You get the whole point.
Exactly.
So see, until we are good enough on a consistent basis, not a one-off sum, on a consistent basis, where we know that even a player that we don't like, when you put him in, he performs something small so we could market and sell, please forget it. And that is what I said last week. Some way, somehow, this team has to perform on a consistent basis. Otherwise, we'll be back to where we are. Okay, all right. So let me make a quick turnaround. When I come back, I'll get to the guys. Kwame shared a very interesting picture on our X handle where he left gaps of players who want to fill. I'll share it with Akomia and Nathan, and then we would see whether we will be able to fill those gaps with certain players that we want here on United and Everything Football. We'll be right back after this. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football podcast. So, Akomi, I don't know if you've seen the image. It's on a X handle, but if you don't have it, I'm sharing it with you right now. I've shared it with Nathan, so I'll start with Nathan on that. I mean, if you check that particular image that we are projecting for you right now on our screens, you see that the striker's position is blank. The left wing back position is blank, and then the midfield area where Bruno sits is also blank, and then the goalkeeper's position is blank. So at the back line, we have Lenny Euro, we have De Ligt, and then we have Mazraoui. At right wing back, we have Ahmad Diallo there. All right, Nathan, I mean, what do you make of this? How are you feeling this?
You can just read a couple of the comments too, like just a couple of the comments.
I'll do that. Yes, I'll read the comments as well. But let me start with Nathan. Nathan, what do you think? How are you going to feel this particular situation?
Okay. Quite interesting. I think I'll start. I'll have to put out not a disclaimer per se. The player I would have loved for the left wing back role has gone to our dreaded enemies from Bournemouth. So I don't know who's going to fill that slot. Milos Kerkez would have been absolutely brilliant as a left wing back, but he's gone. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not too sure.
Or you could just stick Dogu there. You could just stick Dogu there if you feel like he's good enough.
I'm not. I don't know. Okay, I'll stick him in there with an asterisk. The player who sits next to Bruno. Look, my first choice would be a player who's already in the squad. I like Manuel Ugarte. I think he has the trappings of a player who can actually get the job done. I don't know, because there are some United fans who give him a lot of bad press. People think he's not capable of functioning at this level. I wonder why. I don't know why there's that conversation about Manuel Ugarte and his inability to play at this level. I would stick him by Bruno Fernandes in that team. So I guess those slots are filled.
Yeah.
Up top, of course, my pick is Oli Watkins. I don't think that there's a Premier League striker who is one within quote unquote a reasonable price range or a buyable range or an affordable range that would go past Oli Watkins. So I'd have him there. And then the goalkeeper spot, I'd have Emi Martinez. Not because he's a fantastic goalkeeper, right? But I think that Man United have lost the art of signing players with attitude, with an edge.
You mean the shithousery, right?
Yes. United don't have those guys anymore. The team is filled with a lot of nice guys and guys who don't have the dog and the fight in them. Emi Martinez is not that kind of player. And you see, sometimes when you are a big team, you are not only big because you win stuff, right? But you've got players who have a certain character, there's a certain arrogance about them that you need. And you need to have that. Every squad in sport needs somebody who can get the opposition upset, but who has the ability to impose himself and look like a bad guy. Everybody needs it. I'll give you an example. When I look at basketball, for example, the Golden State Warriors, I always say they were never winning any of those titles without Draymond Green. Say what you like about Draymond Green, but he's unlike every other person. Steph is
nice.
So
annoying. This guys of Nazareth.
All the others were, they're gentlemen. Steve Kerr is a gentleman. Draymond Green is almost the opposite. But you see, without him, they never win anything.
That's
true.
And
I think Emi Martinez is that kind of character who shows up, doesn't care about the crowd, will save a penalty, upset the opposition, and just get them frustrated or get them upset. And United need those kinds of players. I think the entire squad now is only Bruno who has it. The ability to look at the crowd and play out a performance.
I think
the other guy who also has. Oh, okay, Cunha now. But I was going to mention, you guys have forgotten because he's always injured. Lisandro Martinez has it, but he never plays.
You get the dog.
Yes, Cunha, and it's one part of the Cunha deal that excites me. The arrogance. I don't care where I'm at. I'll probably do something to annoy everybody. So that's why I would sign Emi Martinez. Look, it's not that he'll be a De Gea. Nobody's going past De Gea in terms of sheer goalkeeping ability.
Yeah.
But his presence alone, I think, will do stuff to the opposition. I think his presence alone lifts the back line and it puts confidence in the team. So I'd have him in the post anytime. If I were advising Man United to sign a goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, any day, simply because of his charisma, his character, the fact that he's annoying. And I think he has what it takes to play for a big team like Man United.
Well, that's Nathan there filling those spots. So Emi Martinez, Ugarte, Dogu, and then Oli Watkins. Akomia, who are you feeling?
Yes.
Who are you using to fill those spots?
I think we can dream. And we're also supposed to face reality.
Yeah.
For now, I'll face reality. Looking at where we are and what we can do.
No. But you can dream. What's wrong with dreaming?
If it is about dreaming, I think I'll have to go with Diogo Costa in post.
Okay.
I'll give Diogo Leon a chance at the left wing back position. I think he has not actually played for us to see.
Yeah.
I know there's also Patrick Dogu, but Estupinan wouldn't have also been a bad deal. A Premier League proven left back. He also has that particular kind of attitude in him.
So pick one.
That's
you mentioned three names. Pick one.
I'll go with Estupinan.
Okay.
Then I'll go with Carlos Baleba.
Hey,
okay. Come back to reality.
Forget
reality. Because you're playing fantasy football right now.
So if I'm coming back to reality,
that is like a 150 million pound.
I'll go with Nathan Kwao on the Emiliano Martinez subject. I think he's that good. We need such experience at the back line. We need a leader like him in the dressing room. We need someone that can push somebody in the dressing room, can say things blunt. He's a winner. He's won the Copa America. He's won the World Cup. He has seen it all. He's there. So we should pick him in that particular position. Then I'll go with Patrick Dogu. The last 6 months, we could talk about adaptation and a lot of things. We saw a bit from him that looked really promising. Especially we watch our game against Atletico Bilbao at home. Real Sociedad at home, you would understand how good he was.
Yeah.
Then when you come to the middle of the pack, I'll have to go with Ugarte. I think he's also adapting to his role at Manchester United. We've been unfair to him. And I think we're overly criticizing him, but he's that kind of guy. He has that dog in him. and we should give him that particular chance this season and see what he has for us. I think he did not even take part in preseason last season. I think so.
No,
Preseason
yeah.
don't take part.
He had an issue with Paris Saint-Germain concerning his transfer. He was frozen out.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think
Enrique kept him away from the
so I
fence.
think he can have a proper preseason this time around, and we see what he has for us. So Ugarte in that particular role. Then I'll go with Oli Watkins. Yeah, I prefer Oli Watkins over Benjamin Sesko and Ku. These guys.
No Sesko fans here.
Kwame, on that note, Kwame posted something on our X handle between Sesko and then
Oli
Watkins.
Oli Watkins.
It keeps changing. So let me stick with what we have right now. Just before I asked the question about which players are you feeling, it was 50-50. Now I just came back to check. After 223 votes, it is 51% for Watkins, and then Sesko, and then 49% for Watkins. I don't know how this is a debate. Anyway, that's me. I don't really know why.
But Doc, I mean, you're in Germany. What's really the story of Benjamin Sesko? What's being said about him? Right? What's being said about him? And
when people ask me this question, what's really being said about somebody in Germany? I'm going like, you know what, Germany, it's like the US system. It's by states. When I live in Hamburg, you're not going to hear what's happening in Leipzig or Munich. Nobody cares. Everybody cares about what happens now. For instance, Hamburg is signing Christian Paulsen from Leipzig. That's the only thing everybody cares about. Like Paulsen, how are we going to survive the league and not get relegated when you are signing Paulsen, who is finished? Nobody cares about Bayern Munich here. Nobody cares about Leipzig here. I barely hear anything about Benjamin Sesko aside what I see on social media, just like everybody else. The thing about Leipzig is they're a selling club and they sell at their price. If you can afford the player, they will sell the player to you. That's where they are. He extended his contract last season when he could have moved so that they can get more. One of the reasons the pegs behind him not getting an easy transfer is because of how he has been valued. Extremely high, 78 million pounds, right? And we've seen the reputation of certain strikers who have come from the Bundesliga when they come to the Premier League. They've not always lived up to it. So it's kind of like a big risk compared to signing an experienced centre forward. His closest link was to Arsenal, but better at the end went for the experienced one in Gyökeres. So if you are desperate, because they're only left to two high-end strikers who may be available on the market, and it's between him and Watkins. If you're desperate enough to take a punt on him, you are going to pay a hefty fee. It's as simple as that.
But and you have to relax for him just like you did for Rasmus Højlund.
That's the problem. We made a mistake by not signing Harry Kane and we went for Højlund, and we've seen how it's gone. We do not have an experienced centre forward at the club. Between Watkins and Højlund, why repeat the same mistake? When you already have Højlund, you are not going to move. And you already have Zexi, you are not going to move. Why didn't you go for another experiment? Why don't you go for the tried and tested? The word we've been hearing from the very start of the transfer window is our preference is for Premier League proven players. When they are available, you have to make it happen. My hope lies in the fact that we could do something with Garnacho, right? If Garnacho is not going to move to Chelsea, Chelsea are not going to sign him. After signing Gibson, they're not going to sign him. If he wants to stay in the Premier League, his only other realistic option could be Unai Emery. Unai Emery could take him and go like, I could help you get back into the Argentine squad. You could play consistently here. They will pay a good fee because, you know, there's the whole PSR thing. We can balance things out. Everybody gets full profits here. They get full profits for Watkins. We also get it could just come down to a business decision. That's my hope. You get experienced centre forward in, and that's fine. I would take him over Sesko any day of the week and twice on Sunday. It's like I don't even understand why the poll is even that close. I was shocked when I saw the result. I was shocked. I was like that. I think people feel like this whole age factor is 29. This one is 29 years old. This one is 22 years old. See, at what age did Barca sign Lewandowski?
That's 3 or something.
That's 30, 33, 34.
We are at the stage where we can't afford misses, and expensive misses at that. You try and reduce the risk as much as possible by going for experienced players. Try and bridge the gap a bit, and then you can bring in your young signings every now and then. That's where we are. That's what I'm happy with.
And Watkins gives us
Mbeumo
a different kind of style as compared to Rasmus Højlund and even Zexi.
He scores and sets up.
Exactly.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
Look, that was Harry Kane 2 years ago. That's what we should have done.
Look, not to, I mean, 10, what? We are in 2025, 17, 18, whatever, 16 years ago. Man United was signing Dimitar Berbatov when he was 28.
Yes.
Right?
Van Persie at 29.
At 29. So this business of not signing a player at that age, look, Man United have got problems to solve. The problems Man United need to solve can be solved by winning football matches. You don't win football matches with 23-year-olds. Of course, I'm not saying that when you combine 23-year-olds, you can't win. But the point is, where United are at now, if you look at the fact that United didn't score 15 league goals, and for example, if they had scored even 15 or 20 more goals than they did last season, they would have been finishing in a far better position than 15. Who can get those goals? Cunha can contribute. Mbeumo can contribute if the deal happens. Only Watkins certainly contributes a lot. Then you can take a few others from, is it Højlund?
Yes, I agree.
Man United need to understand where they are very quickly. Bring Watkins. Get the player. In any case, strikers don't die out when they turn 30. Robert Lewandowski is still banging in the goals at 35, 36. You can get good years out of Oli Watkins.
I will even pick Jamie Vardy over Sesko, even if we don't get Oli Watkins.
But bring Jamie Vardy. Play him 30 minutes.
Sports science allows players to last longer than they used to in the past.
Exactly.
29 is no longer old in football. It's not. It's not. It's not.
I mean, there's a reason why I wanted Douglas Luiz at Manchester United, because he's also Premier League proven. It just hasn't worked out for him in the Italian Serie A.
So it's not just that. Douglas Luiz, you just have to pull up his injury record over the past 12 months.
Yes.
I agree. He's had about 5 muscle injuries in the last.
I agree to that. But we also went in for players like Matthias De Ligt and Mazraoui. We also had, let me not say worst injury records like Douglas Luiz.
No, it was a myth.
Definitely something that was even there.
We looked this thing up. I remember we looked this thing up. You see, when a lie is told so many times, you begin to believe that it is true.
You start to think.
They were not that injury prone. They were not. There were a lot of politics going on at Bayern Munich, leading them to sell a lot of lies and a lot of stories, which were not 100% accurate. When you did look up their injury records prior to them coming to Manchester United, it was nowhere close to being that bad. They had played enough games. Douglas Luiz, you can just pull it up right now. Transfer markets. 5 muscle injuries back to back to back to back. There's a reason. See, Juve want to get rid of a problem. That's what they've found in their hands. It's like they want, before Paul Pogba got his whole drug thing, the drug issues and the ban and whatever, he was also having very similar issues that Douglas Luiz is experiencing prior to that. When he got the ban even lifted, they decided we'll cancel your contract. Like, we don't even want any more of that issue, because they did not believe that sporting-wise he could even offer more. Pogba has a lot to prove whatever notion, not even about the drugs. I'm talking purely about his injury record right now. Juve have issues. Don't go and exchange problems. Don't exchange problems.
When you look at Douglas Luiz, put aside the injury. I know the injury record.
How do we put it aside?
I know it's very important. Let me land.
Let Akobia make his point.
I don't think we are going to do a swap deal between Sancho and Douglas Luiz. No, I don't think Manchester United will do that. Because they will need their money. They've spent a lot of money. I would rather prefer a loan with an option to buy for Douglas Luiz. Bring him on. If he's fit enough, he plays. Because we don't have money to buy Edison for 60 million euros. I don't think Manchester United is having the money to buy a midfielder for 60 or 65 or 70 million euros.
It is not even about the mode of how he gets to Manchester United. The problem is, why bring a player who may not play?
And there's a player in there that can come and also be fit and be playing for us consistently.
Oh, please. See, when you are going to buy an item on the streets, right? You take into consideration certain things before you buy it. You don't say it can come good. You look at the fault at that particular point in time and go like, based on.
Have you checked previous seasons when he was in the Premier League and his injury record?
See, you are.
This thing can literally happen to any player in one season.
Are you trying to say that all of a sudden he developed these injuries just because he changed leagues?
Depends on how he has been treated.
If that's the argument you are making, then I wouldn't say anything against it. You think it's just merely because he changed leagues?
I think it is because he has not actually been treated well at Juventus. Because
that's
they don't have enough men. They don't have enough men because most of the time Locatelli is injured. You look at Locatelli outside of the team. Other players cannot come into the midfield and come and fit in positions. He is forced to even come and play.
Let's make progress. Anyway, yeah, Nathan, you wanted to say something in between. I mean, when you're talking about the Juve something. You said
I was just saying that why aren't Man United throwing Sancho at Juventus and taking Vlahovic off their hands?
Another one.
£300,000 euros a week.
Another one. They also want to.
300,000.
That's what it's.
They also want to get.
So that seems to be the problem.
You see,
of course,
so they have problems in their team.
They are even trying to cancel his contract.
Haven't you realized that over the past 4 or 5 years, you have been doing a
now, but I don't want to even see him near Manchester United.
Anyway,
let's make progress. So players are back. They are training. We have our first preseason game to go on Saturday where we play against Leeds United in Sweden. I think in Stockholm, if I'm correct. It's in Stockholm, right, Kwame?
Yeah, Stockholm.
So that's the first game we will play before we jet off to the United States to play in our preseason games in the Premier League series in the United States. But guys, there's been a lot of talk. The players are lean and all of that. I don't know, Akumi, I don't know if you've heard that players are growing lean.
It should reflect on the pitch. I'm so much focused on what you play rather than how they look. Because these guys can look even leaner than what we are even seeing now and they play rubbish.
Fair point. Fair point.
I'm eager to, so I'm really looking forward to how they are going to play us.
Akomia, I will leave the moderating of the show so that you come and moderate. The way I have asked the question nicely, I thought you're going to expand. You shut the point down. Like you don't want to even hear it. Kwame,
No. I'm eager to see.
I am done moderating the show. But Nathan, what do you make of?
My boss is here. He agrees with me.
Of all the pictures I have seen and all the players looking lean, the one I'm very suspicious of is Luke Shaw. I'm extremely suspicious of Luke Shaw because he could start out looking like this and then he'll play 5 games the entire season and be cozy with the physios and medical people the rest of the time. So I look at him and I wonder, because clearly, look, I don't think Luke Shaw is at a point of his career where he can give us 20 games a season. I don't think so. I just think that he's now going to be managed. Yes, I think he's going to be managed here and there and all of that. So, I mean, the pictures can look great. The players can look lean and all. I agree with Akumi on the fact that we just want to see what they will show. Fans don't want much. Fans just want effort. Fans just want to see that you are trying, that you care, and that you want to win as much as we want to see you win. So I hope that the game goes well. And talking about, understanding the game and putting in an effort, it is against Leeds United, for crying out loud. If you want to make a statement, make that statement in that opening game.
No preseason. It's Leeds United.
No. It is against, yes, it is Leeds United. So go out there, put out a performance, beat them. And, you see, because I think a lot of Man United players, I don't know whether it is by accident or by design or I don't know what, or these days they downplay it. I don't see a lot of pride in Man United players. Like, for example, United are going to play Liverpool. I expect players to come out there and play as if their lives depend on the game. But I really don't see a lot of that.
Game for Eric Ten Hag, I think the game against Liverpool, And then
Third game,
Yes.
third game
that
of his
game.
first season.
Yeah, the third game. There was a lot of effort, but you can count how many times United have played like that in the last 3 years. Not often, but the trick is really, if you want to succeed in the league, you need to be playing all your games the same way. And I think the tone has to be set from preseason. Yeah, somebody will argue, oh, it is just preseason, but you have to show yourselves first as players, and then to the fans that you are really ready. You are really sorry for what happened last season. You want to make it right. Because in any case,
Exactly.
United do have a certain advantage, no matter how small it is, of not having to play midweek games and European games and all. I think there is something that can be milked from that circumstance. And Man United players and the team and Amorim will have to see that as an opportunity to run a season without the distraction of Europe, without the extra burden, be fresh all week, still deliver. Because I think if they get it right, they can rapidly move up the table. They may not crash top 4. If they do, hey, but I still think they can actually crack top 10 if they are on it all the games of the season. And I think it starts from the very first game of the preseason against Leeds on Saturday.
We'll see how that particular game goes. But Kwame, what's your thoughts on that? Then I'll get to Akumia's thoughts on the game itself. I mean, against United. Normally, what should be the coach's thinking going into? I know
It's good. It's good that you started from there because
I know where I want to take you. So you go ahead.
it's not just
preseason. Doc, you said you were going to explain to us.
Oh, I haven't. I've not forgotten. I've not forgotten that.
Yeah, he never forgets anything. He never forgets.
It's not just preseason. After finishing 15th, it's not just preseason. I love the fact that every single preseason game is a Premier League game. Last season, it's against Premier League opposition, I mean. Last season, we struggled in the Premier League. So we've lined up Premier League opposition from beginning till we play against Fiorentina at Old Trafford.
Because that is the only competition you are going to play alongside FA Cup and EFL Cup.
You have to adapt to playing against Premier League opposition properly. These are dress rehearsals for the actual Premier League season, like proper dress. You're not gallivanting playing against other teams from around the world. This is just purely Premier League opposition. No better way to test yourself. The optimism coming from Ruben Amorim and Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox said this, right? That we all recognize that the men's team fell well short of expectations last season. And we know many of the reasons for that. As we went through a difficult process of changing our head coach, our style of play, and many other things around the club. I'll stick to these 3 points. When Amorim was appointed in the middle of the season, one of the things he pushed back was the timing of his appointment. He said he would have preferred that he was appointed at the end of the season so that he can have a full preseason to prepare his team for the Premier League season. Come the end of the Premier League season, not even before he gave that speech on the touchline, he said in an interview before our game against Aston Villa that he is glad in hindsight that he has had the past 6 months to assess everything going on within the football club. And he's even more prepared that he would have been prepared for if he was appointed in the summer. Not my words, not your words. Those were the coach's words, Amorim's words. Let me remind people why Amorim was appointed just before we take on our first Premier League game. Ruben Amorim was hired to improve Manchester United's players by enhancing their individual potential, fostering a team-oriented style, and implementing a tactical system to maximize their strengths. This is why we appointed him. I'm repeating this word for word. He was appointed to enhance the individual potentials of the players, fostering a team-oriented style, and implementing a tactical system that maximizes their strengths. See, there are a lot of people who are either manager FC or player FC who make excuses for either the manager or what not. This is not why we appointed a coach. Whoever the coach has, even now, after the past 8 months, they should be better players than they were before. Whoever we add to the team is supposed to even improve the team further. So we do not want to see remnants of what we saw last season in any game. And it starts from preseason. We want to see the improvements. We want to see the tactical changes. We want to see the implementation of the style of football that him and Wilcox speak about. We came here to speak about game model, right? That the game model isn't even about the tactics, 3-4-3 and whatever. We want to play possession-based football, dominate opponents. That's what we want to do. If you're not seeing that, then you're not seeing change. Because that's why they appointed him. If you don't see individual players improving significantly, then the coach isn't doing his job. One thing I love about what has happened this summer is what happened to the unfortunate five. Because it's about tilting the culture at a football club, where certain individuals who hold certain influence will not be able to impact the rest of the squad. The message that is sent clearly to everybody else is, if you're not running, you have to run hard enough. If you're not performing, you have to perform better. If you do not perform as individually, what you're supposed to do, be in shape, be fit, play football matches, be available. Next thing you know, you are out of the football club. So I expect this culture change to influence how we play. From the very first preseason game, you want to see the signs of drastic change. Drastic, actually, especially in how they play. I haven't mentioned results. I deliberately haven't mentioned results because I know the limitations of this squad compared to Premier League rivals. We've finished way below certain teams, and those teams are not standing still. They are improving in terms of the quality of their squad. But in terms of how this team plays, you should be able to clearly see how Manchester United wants to play. If you want to see consistent results as winning games, we do know that you have to add more to the squad, especially up front in terms of goals. He's going to have 2 forwards come in. You can work for now to improve the likes of Rasmus Højlund, to improve the likes of Preseason, to improve Obi. You have experienced players in the number 10 position in Mason Mount, Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, and Mbeumo if he comes in. Ahmad should not be worse than the Ahmad that we saw last season. All you have to see is continuous improvements. There are players you can work with. In as much as we sit down and try and make it look like we have the absolute worst squad in the world, that is absolutely not. It's not.
Aiden Heaven and Co. These guys.
There are so many players there you can work with and improve. Young players in Patrick Dogu, Lenny Yoru. We should see a step in their game. Ugarte had a bad first season. We can put it down probably to a change in league. But you've worked with Manuel Ugarte before. If there's any coach who can churn out the best out of Manuel Ugarte and see a huge accent in his game, it is you, Ruben Amorim. If you're not seeing that, are you doing your job right? So I wish we had brought in more players, but if you've given them a couple of forwards to start with the hope that we can add another forward, all I want to see is a team that is playing like a team. We know how Barcelona plays on any given day, irrespective of the results. You know how Manchester City plays on any given day. Liverpool, Arsenal, all these teams are set in how they play. It's clear, it's defined. This is all I want to see during preseason. A clear, defined, consistent way of play. And ultimately, I believe those would lead to results.
All right. Akomia, you have the next 4 minutes to wrap it up.
Yes. I even have to go for training, so I'll be very quick.
Okay.
I think looking at the whole setup of Manchester United and how and what we expect from the team next season is really going to be based on the fact that individual players must improve. And if they are going to improve, it's the task of the manager to improve them. Aiden Heaven showed glimpses of what he can do. The few games he played, even before his injury situations and all other stuff that came along his way, he was superb in possession, in tackling, everything. He has that particular kind of dog also in him. Quality young player that I believe he can become better. Zexi, link-up play, a lot of things we saw from him. I've seen Rasmus Højlund play so well under Erik ten Hag in his first season, in certain games, against Galatasaray, against Arsenal, at the Emirates. I've seen him do stuff. I don't know what happened to him last season. At West, we should see him at that particular level we saw him under Erik ten Hag in his first season. at worst. We should see him at that particular level. Patrick Dogu, I've seen glimpses. I think within the squad that we have, we can actually build something better. And I'm always looking forward to who is going to be the academy player, who is going to break out during the preseason. We've had Garnacho, we've had Mbeumo, we've had some few, Toby Koila, we've had some few players. I'm rooting for 2 players, Kone or Shialaisi. Either of these players can actually jump into the main squad and join us next season. And we can only be hopeful that they can perform and be consistent, since we are going to play 1 game a week in the absence of EFL Cup and FA Cup within that particular week. So I'm hopeful that any of these 2 players can come into the game and help us. Lacey gives us a different version when he's fit and he's playing for us, even as a number 10 or even a box-to-box midfielder. Kone can literally sit and dictate the tempo of the game or the pace of the game, if given the needed confidence. I'm looking at these 2 players, that any of them can come in during the preseason and give us hope for next season. And at least we'll have 1 academic graduate come into the setup, just like we saw Mbeumo, we saw Garnacho, we saw Toby Koila, we saw a lot of players come into the team, even Harry Amas. And I think this can be a good season for any of them.
Well, we'll see. Nathan, 1 minute on the team itself. What Kwame and Akwamia have shared.
Yeah, I agree largely with Kwame, because for a lot of us and for a lot of those who watch Man United, the biggest question was, what exactly was Ruben Amorim trying to do with the team? So I'd expect that after all the sessions running on grass, doing the tactical stuff, we should expect to see a more recognizable style and pattern. I think that once you see that recognizable style and pattern, it will be easier to understand what it is that's happening. And then you can start to figure out who fits and who doesn't. Kwame again mentioned flexibility.
Yeah.
I agree with him largely. There's a part of me that believes that no manager on this earth will be 100% wedded to a style and never bend. I hope Ruben Amorim has a little wiggle room in him to be flexible as games happen or as the season is changing and as opponents come in and out of Old Trafford. You'll be able to find different ways of doing different things, because I believe that some of the players United have can do different things. Cunha and Mbeumo especially, they can fit in different roles. So I hope you'll be able to be smart enough to deploy them to do different things based on the opposition, not be boxed in this style where you have to play in this position at all costs. I think that fans just want to see something, like they just want to see changes happen, different approaches, just to see that when one approach doesn't work, there's a fallback plan. There's the ability to do something different. When I watch Ruben Amorim, I can tell there's a manager who's very intelligent in there. But that the intelligence at this elite level also encompasses not only your tactical knowledge, but also the ability to read your opposition and make changes. Maybe one day he should try playing a back 4 to see what works, or maybe go a midfield 3, or he should be able to do different things to suit the situations in front of him. So those are the things I'd like to see all through preseason: the flexibility, player improvement, a better understanding of the system, and just a team that just shows overall hunger and determination to do better than 15th. That's all I want to see.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. It's been fun having all of you here on the podcast with me, discussing everything Man United and everything football. My name is Kwame. I was here with Michael Akomia the Mezar, Nathan Kwao, and then Kwame Chubwesiako. We've enjoyed our time with you. Remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also share with your friends and leave a comment in the comment section. We'll see you on the next one after the Leeds game, after the preseason game. We'll be here to talk about what our observations are and every other issue that happens.
We'll be on the Tankwao space.
Yes,
remember.
yes.
Rant and cry space. Rant and cry space.
It goes say World Cup here. We don't go rant and cry. These boys, they are all playing for World Cup. You shall play 50 games.
As for the space, it will take off when the league begins.
I'm trying to get my space
ready.
When the league
We will not rant and cry.
Just 45 minutes. If we win, come and celebrate. If not, come and
My time is up. My time is up before we go off. So let me wrap up. Thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye.